One quick kiss, a nervous aunt, and a homeless lookalike. Bluey drops clues even adults miss. 1. Bingo's real mom? Something about Aunt Brandy feels off. In the episode Onesies, she shows up nervous, biting her lip, and trying way too hard to act normal around Bingo. Then there's the way she freezes when Bingo asks who she looks like. Chili jumps in to answer, but Brandy just stands there awkwardly. And have you noticed how much Bingo looks like her? It makes people wonder if Brandy had a baby long ago, but couldn't raise her. So, Chili stepped in. Maybe that's why Brandy treats Bingo with this quiet, heavy emotion, like she's carrying a secret nobody talks about. 2. Smugglers in disguise? Have you ever wondered how Bandit and Chili afford that giant house? Bandit digs up ancient artifacts for work, and Chili works in airport security. Together, they bring in decent money, but not dreamhouse money. Yet they live like lottery winners. It makes you think, what if Bandit finds treasures on his digs and Chili sneaks them through airports without anyone noticing? Imagine the healer parents living a double life, loving family by day, black market masterminds by night. It sounds crazy, but that picture-perfect home might not be built on paychecks. Maybe it's built on secrets. 3. Bluey on camera? What if Bluey's world is one giant reality show? Think about it. Sometimes the characters look straight at us, like they know we are there. The camera angles feel too perfect, like someone is filming everything from the best seat in the house. Maybe the healer family has no idea millions are watching their every move. Or maybe they do. And that's the creepy part. The laughs, the games, even the sad moment. What if none of it is private? It would mean Bluey's whole life is basically The Truman Show with dog ears and happier music. 4. Kids or grandmas in disguise? Here's a thought that will mess with your head. What if Bluey and Bingo aren't really kids at all? The games, the wild imaginations, the made-up names? What if it is all just Rita and Janet, 2 elderly women, pretending to be children again? Maybe the whole show is them escaping reality, living out the childhood they wish they had. It explains the over-the-top creativity and why nothing truly bad ever happens. If this is true, every tea party and dance game is not just playtime. It is 2 grandmas rewriting their entire past, one episode at a time. 5. Bandit's friendly neighbor. Something strange keeps popping up between Bandit and Wendy, the neighbor. In one episode, she helps lift him into a car, and he tells her to watch the hands with this weird smirk on his face. Another time, she bends down to help him, and his expression looks way too happy for a married dad. It is subtle, but once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Are they just being friendly? Or is there more going on behind those backyard fences? Either way, Chili might want to start paying closer attention to the neighborly help Bandit keeps getting. 6. The kiss nobody talks about. There is this one moment that still raises eyebrows. Stripe walks in, Chili greets him with a kiss on the lips. Not a hug, not a cheek kiss. On the lips. Then they sit together, whispering like they have a secret the kids should not hear. When the little ones run back in, the whole mood changes instantly, like they got caught. Chili shrugs, Stripe grins, and the subject dies right there. Maybe it is harmless, maybe it is nothing, but it feels like we just watched the most awkward family secret slip through in broad daylight. 7. The accident nobody mentions. Bingo spending nights in the hospital was never explained, but if you line up the episodes, the clues are there. Before that visit, both pups rode in basic seatbelt. Afterward, Bingo suddenly has a 5-point harness, like she survived something serious. The gift stacked in her hospital room suggests she stayed longer than one night. Put it together, and it starts looking like the healer family went through a bad car accident off-screen. They smile and play like nothing happened, but that tiny change in Bingo's seatbelt tells a story the show never comes out and says. 8. Grandpa Bob's fading memory. Grandpa Bob shows up in only a few episodes, but when he does, something feels wrong. In Fairy Tale, he forgets Bandit's name completely and gives up trying. Bluey and Bingo even mentioned that he once forgot Bingo was born. That is not just a funny old man moment. It hints at something heavier, like early dementia creeping in. Maybe that is why we barely see him around. The family keeps things light for the kids, but the truth slips out in small ways. Behind the jokes and beach trips, there might be a silent, heartbreaking story playing out. 9. Heartbreak at the cafe. Poor Winton's dad. One moment, he is happily dating. The next, we see his girlfriend outside the post office openly flirting with another guy while he sits alone in a cafe. No fight, no drama, just him looking like his whole world collapsed while she moves on without a second thought. It's easy to miss because the scene is quiet, but the look on his face says everything. Bluey may be a kid's show, yet right there in the background is a grown-up heartbreak playing out while everyone else laughs and plays like nothing happened. 10. The homeless terrier theory. There There is a moment in Quiet Game that hits different once you notice it. Outside the toy store, a beggar sits with scruffy fur and tired eyes. He looks almost exactly like the terriers. Same coloring, same build. He is never named, never explained. But it makes you wonder if this is their dad, long gone from their lives and now living on the streets. The show never confirms it, but the resemblance is too strong to ignore. It turns a quick background shot into something dark, a hidden family tragedy hiding in plain sight during a normal shopping trip. 11. No sugar, no fun. Indy's mom takes healthy eating to a whole new level. In one episode, Indy sadly explains she cannot eat sausage because of chemicals, but it does not stop there. No gluten, no dairy, no sugar. Basically, no joy. Meanwhile, the other kids eat whatever they want while Indy sits there holding her carrot sticks. It stops feeling like healthy parenting and starts looking like control. The girl is always polite about it, but you can tell she hates missing out. It is one of those quiet moments where a strict adult rule turns a normal childhood into something much heavier. 12. The gamers hiding in aisle 3. In one supermarket scene, the camera drifts past some shelf labels. Nothing special, right? Look again. The names read Dimitri, Claude, and Edelgard. Those are not cereal brand. They are the 3 faction leaders from Fire Emblem. 3 Houses, a massive Japanese RPG. It seems some of the Bluey crew slipped their favorite game into the background, where only the nerdiest eyes would ever see it. Kids walk past like nothing happened. Parents miss it completely. Meanwhile, gamers watching at home spot the names and realize somebody in the animation studio was definitely leveling up during lunch breaks. 13. Snickers and the missing pieces. Snickers is one of Bluey's friends, but he disappears from some episodes without explanation. When he does appear, he always wears that little hat, even as a baby. It is not just for style. People start wondering if he has a health condition the show never talks about, maybe something with his head or a problem with sunlight. In the sign, all the kids gather to say goodbye to Bluey, but Snickers is missing completely. It feels less like bad scheduling and more like a quiet clue that something might be wrong with the shy little sausage dog in the cap. 14. Socks the different pup. Socks is not like the other kids in Bluey. While everyone else walks, talks, and plays like little humans, she crawls on all fours, bites things, and barely speaks. At first, it seems funny, like she is just the wild cousin. But after a while, it feels heavier, like the show is hinting at something deeper. Maybe a developmental or neurological disorder the family never names. The adults treat her kindly, but they also never explain her behavior. It turns a small background character into one of the most mysterious and possibly saddest parts of the entire series. 15. Bandit's old wounds. Bandit carries around a quiet piece of childhood pain that slips out in the show. When the family almost sells their house, the real estate agent turns out to be Bucky, the same kid who once told young Bandit his drawings were terrible. That one comment crushed his dream of becoming an artist, and you can tell he never forgot it. Now, years later, he has to smile and shake hands with the guy who ruined his confidence. It is a small detail, but it shows how childhood scars can follow you long after everyone else thinks they have healed. 16. Bluey's secret crush. There is a dream sequence where Bluey soars through the sky, flying past animals and friends, but one moment stands out. Mackenzie shows up in her dream for no clear reason. Kids dream about people they care about, even if they never say it out loud. Bluey acts normal around him in real life, but dreams do not lie. It is like her subconscious slipped up and told on her. It is a tiny clue, hidden inside a colorful, happy scene. But it reveals more about Bluey's little heart than any playground game or family moment ever could. 17. Judo's missing dad. Judo lives next door with her mom, Wendy, but her dad is never mentioned. Not once. The show explains they moved from the United Kingdom to Australia, just the 2 of them. That detail alone hints at something heavy. Maybe her father passed away before they left. Maybe something else happened that the show never touches. Either way, Judo's life has this quiet sadness around it when you stop and think. She plays, laughs, and joins the games like every other kid. But behind it all might be a family tragedy. The writers keep tucked far in the background. 18. Jobless in Brisbane? When the Healer family almost moved away in the sign, Bandit and Chili talked like everything was set. New house, new life, which means they probably quit their jobs before leaving Brisbane. But then they changed their minds and stayed. The show never shows them going back to work or even talking about it again. Did their bosses just welcome them back? Or are they quietly unemployed now, living in that big house with no income? It is a strange loose end, like the writers slipped in a secret midlife crisis behind all the playful games and happy music. 19. The gnome who suffers. Jeremiah the garden gnome lives the hardest life in Bluey. In one episode, he gets kicked across the yard. In another, he falls over and cracks his ceramic head. Sometimes he just sits there with pieces glued back together like nobody even tried to hide the damage. It is a running joke, but after a while, it starts feeling dark. Everyone else plays and laughs, while this poor gnome takes hit after hit like the universe personally hates him. If any character in Bluey deserves therapy, or at least a helmet, it is definitely the long-suffering Jeremiah in the front yard. 20. Bluey's rose-colored memories. What if Bluey is not happening in real time at all? Imagine adult Bluey, years in the future, telling her kids about her perfect childhood. That would explain why every problem wraps up neatly, every game feels magical, and every memory glows like sunshine. Real life is never that flawless. Maybe she remembers things the way she wants to, not how they truly happen. It turns the whole show into one big storybook inside her head, a childhood polished so bright that the sad parts disappear, leaving only the happy pieces she chooses to pass down to the next generation. 21. Bluey the Fighter. Hidden between tea parties and dress-up games, Bluey has another side. In one episode, she wears a kimono, practicing moves while Bandit takes out the trash. By the end, she even earns a yellow belt. The show never makes a big deal about it, but the hints keep coming. Bluey is secretly learning martial arts, while the rest of us watch her play keepy-uppy in dance mode. It is like discovering your sweet, playful neighbor kid also trains to break boards on weekends. One day, we might see Bluey go full action hero, while everyone else still thinks she is cute. 22. Granddad's Silent Battles. Granddad Mort has a Victoria Cross medal sitting in the Healer Home, the highest award for bravery in the face of war. That tiny detail means his life once held real danger, fear, and violence, far from the beaches where he now plays with his grandkids. The show never shows flashbacks or war stories, but that medal speaks loudly. It hints at nights he probably never talks about, memories he keeps locked away while everyone else sees only the funny, stubborn old man. Behind the jokes and hugs is someone who survived things the rest of the family cannot imagine. 23. The odd one out. Radley sticks out in every family scene. Bandit, Stripe, even their parents share familiar colors and markings, but Radley looks completely different. His fur is lighter, thicker, almost like he wandered in from another family's photo album. The show never explains it, but it makes people wonder if he was adopted long before Bluey and Bingo came along. Maybe Grandma and Grandpa thought they could not have kids, took in Radley, and then had the others later. It would explain why he feels like the extra sibling sometimes, the one carrying a secret even his own nieces and nephews do not know. 24. More than meets the eye? Bandit flirts with Wendy. Chili shares secret glances with Stripe. Both have odd moments the show never explained, like inside jokes we are not supposed to hear. Put it all together, and it starts feeling like the Healer parents might have some sort of arrangement. Nothing is ever said outright, but the clues pile up in tiny looks and throwaway lines. Maybe they are perfectly happy with a different kind of marriage than everyone assumes. Or maybe the writers are just messing with us. Either way, it adds a weird grown-up layer hiding under all the playground games and dances. 25. Rusty's boot camp childhood. Rusty is always training. Push-ups, running, practicing cricket like his life depends on it. His dad used to be in the army, and it shows. The whole family has this serious, disciplined vibe, like their backyard doubles as a training ground. Even their house feels more structured than the chaos at Bluey's place. Rusty never complains, but you can tell fun comes second to rules and routines. It makes you wonder if his childhood is less playtime and more boot camp, shaping him into the toughest kid on the playground, while everyone else just learns to ride bikes. And that's it for the most disturbing Bluey secrets hiding in plain sight. Wild, right? But here's the real question. Do you think the writers sneak these in on purpose? Or are we all just reading too much into it? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden twists in your favorite shows.